Two females.
The man that has you in that process of triangulation is using you to compete with another woman, and he is doing it for his own ego. That man that's sitting here in this audience, when he was able to pass by you and say something, is because he already knew that it was going to disrupt your peace. And that disruption of your peace just stroked his ego, and you got up here and made a fool out of yourself. Ooh. You haven't talked to this man in 2 days, and you got up to this microphone and showed how low of a self-worth and low self-esteem you have. You showed this man that your security lies in him. You showed this man that he has your self-esteem and your self-worth in his hand, and he can play you like a puppet. I'm talking to my women now. If y'all don't stop playing on y'all damn selves, and I don't usually cuss, but if y'all don't stop playing on y'all selves, don't you let nobody play your puppet master. Don't you let nobody pull you by the strings and decide what it is that you gonna do. That man is going to go lay up with that other woman, and he's gonna call you the next day because he realizes that you need him. You better stand up and stand on damn business. We in 2024. We ain't doing that. Okay, that's my piece.
Clarification. You guys wasn't in an official relationship.
No, not an official relationship.
And given this situation, my man can date.
He can date whoever he want to date. But let's talk about the real conversation needs to be had. The real conversation is she feels taken advantage of and she feels used. Yep. And as a woman, as a Black woman, it's very hard for us to even find a way to get into that soft area, to find the energy to be feminine and soft. Because most of us by default then had to be in survival mode for so long that going into soft mode take work. Like being able to break out of that exterior, that take a lot of work. So for you to have done that work and giving yourself to someone that you felt like was deserving of that, only to have that thrown in your face, is a slap in the face.
It is.
But let's leave that. Now I'm gonna leave that there. But you gotta hold your own for a second, because you had no business that you know wasn't for you, and you know where your heart at for him.
Hold on, you said throwing around the love word. Did he throw the word love around?
Yeah.
He took advantage of her.
So
you hold
on.
Wherever you hold.
Because I came.
Okay, so just again, and realistically, I don't want y'all to stop going to this show because I appreciate the content. I need it just so sometimes I can, so I don't, because I know I can go crazy on sports for at least like an hour today. But I'm not. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to appreciate all the new women who come in and listen. But I told y'all what type of women go to this show live. Again, I'm not knocking this show. Keep going because I need the content. But I told y'all what type of women, and shout out to our listeners, because they literally gonna sit here. If they see, he said, bro, let me send you this joke because you literally just talking about the women to be in this audience, and it literally was the point of what I just told y'all. That showed you, that right there was the perfect example. I told y'all exactly what type of women be in the audience at these type of shows. And not just to put it on just on this show, but the women who will go to a podcast who's generated on women and men conversations or trying to give women dating advice, they'll be super insecure women. And that was the purpose of that. Like this woman go up here and sit here and say a dude that she been dealing with is literally in that audience with another woman right now on a double date with his homeboy.
Snitching.
And then it don't even matter if he's snitching because he might not even, if he cool here, he play it cool, he may not even like make it know, because I wouldn't. If I was him, I would play it cool as I possibly could.
How can you play that cool for real? Because it's a double date. You can't play it that cool.
How many other people might be in there on a double date? Like, I mean, unless y'all the only people in there on a double date, that's the only way the spot really gonna get blown up.
Especially if it's the first time, like me and Shorty just met. She your man's girl. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, but still, she was cheese anyway. And that's listen to what I'm saying. And the same way I was just talking to the dudes when I'm sitting here saying, bro, save your money up. There's nothing wrong with dealing with your own stuff. Dog, you women the same way, dog. And I don't even see him when I sit here and say the Big Back Warriors was mad at Drake and Drea. I meant it, but still, again, dog, it's okay to lock in. And real quick, especially for all the Big Back Warriors, let me tell you something, a blessing in disguise that happened to me over the weekend. I was working and I was trying to get to the vitamin shop and go get me some testosterone Jones, just so it just give me more energy when you're lifting weights and help you feel strong and everything. It's like realistically over the counter steroids, but it don't have the same side effects. Cool. But every store was sold out. So cool. I just had to go back to my normal fat burners. And for cardio purposes and even just for energy, like right now, I'm still running off the one I took this morning. So it's just my point. So for all the people who you sitting here wanting to sit here, do cardio, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to figure out how to get it tight, all I would recommend, I'm not telling you what brand, you gotta figure it out. That's how GNC always get over on most people when you first starting to lose weight. And you got to figure out what fat burners to take and getting your sweat. Go get a sweat bag. Go get you a sweat vest. Get you some fat burners and get in there and do some cardio. Get that weight to come off though, and lift some weights in the process as well. All I'm just telling you is y'all got to deal with your own issues before you sit here. One, ain't no podcast gonna be able to sit here and tell you how to deal with them insecurities. You might hear some words, oh yeah, yes, girl, yes. It's just like going to church. You're gonna have the pastor. That's why I love, of course, I know I love Pastor Mike. And he'll sit here and say, I'm just saying something fire. And I need me an old school church where everybody gonna get up and run around and give me the amens. And I'm gonna get to Pastor Mike in a minute because I don't like how he tried to do my man Ty Tribbett. But it's just my whole thing. Even with that is, you cannot sit here and think that's just okay. But let me backtrack real quick and let me slow down. I could keep it where it's at with church. You can hear a good word on Sunday, but what you gonna do for the rest of the week? It's only going like that high when you go to church. If you don't have your own structure and your own plan of how to figure out to build your own relationship with whatever God you believe in. Shout out to all my Muslims right now that y'all just started Ramadan. Whatever your situation is, you got to figure out how can I have my own personal relationship. And that was one of the things Ty Tribbett was talking about when he was on the Breakfast Club. And so that's what you got. You got to figure out, how do I build my own relationship so I can't just rely on the church? Because that's a lot of y'all. You just relying on these viral clips on social media or some podcasts to give me a quick 60-second sound bite that you need because you're going through something. That's just literally just like what it is when you go to church. You looking for that quick that little 60-second sound bite. Bro, that 60-second sound, how do you get that 60-second sound bite? Then what? Are you really going to go do the work? Because if you sitting here saying, I got that 60-second sound bite, all men ain't ish, this, that, and the third, and you're going to just keep going down this rabbit hole of all these, because guess what? If you go down that rabbit hole on YouTube, it's going to keep coming there for you. It's going to come there all day long. And whatever you need, whatever emotions you're going through, is just like church. If you sit here and you go to church and you going through it for real, we have all been there. When you go to church and you really going through it and you feel like the pastor is talking to you. And guess what? And you know what you come into that spiritual bump, and that's why some people jump from church to church, because after a while, after you've been going, and if you really start to do the work, the message don't hit the same. If you're really doing the work on yourself, guess what? And again, I say I'm not shading to none of these podcasts, but you ain't gonna be looking for that 60-second clip. You're not gonna be spending no money to sit here and go to this live show to feel like you about to get some words of encouragement. No, you can take that 60-second clip and you better take your ass and get on that goddamn treadmill and do some work. You better don't sit here and go run and go book appointment to go up under no knife. You need to start putting the work in on yourself. And the reason why I sit here and recommend you sit here going into the gym, because then it's a physical and mental thing. I tell y'all that all the time. You can mentally lock in and take your brain somewhere completely else, because you can't do that when you go up under no knife. Yeah, you're going to look good. Oh, cool. You can get the surgery, you'll get your BBL, you'll get your boobs done. But then guess what you're going to do? You're going to come back and still feel the same way. You're going to get hyped for a minute until all it's going to do is take for you to get that new body and you to run into 3 dudes of the same kind and they still run right through you. May trick off a little bit more bread because you look a little bit better now, but you still get the same result. But that's because you never did the mental work. You never sit here and say, it's just like when I'm talking about tank and into working out. You never tore the muscles down or tear that fat down to build up the muscle. And that's what's going to happen if you go run and get up under a knife. You just literally, hey, boom, I've never tore the muscle down and really worked to build it back up. I just ran and got a quick fix the same way what you're doing with these 60-second clips or these 90-second clips. Oh, yeah, oh, my God, he preaching my life. Oh, again, let's just say, of course, we can all agree, men and women got their own issues. I told y'all about that with just even when it's talking about in the comment section or whatever. Pick a blog page. Go in the comment section anytime. I don't care what it's about. I don't even judge it off of the strength of the women versus men stuff. I just literally I could judge y'all off of the JT situation. And like I said, I don't want to speed through too